So today I want to talk about the loot boxes which are in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta and will be in the full game. Various news outlets, certain YouTubers such as Totalbiscuit and Angry Joe have already covered this topic, but I thought I would talk about it. As well as a fan of the gameplay, this is concerning. What we have is a system which is randomized. It's not well thought out for the players. It doesn't explain many things, and what it expects you to do is get these crates. Now you can get these crates in game by just playing and getting currency, which is all well and good. However, you get currency at the end of each match, depending on how long you're in the match, say 150 to 180 credits per game. And these games last anywhere between, well, if it's a long match, say 25 minutes. It does depend, but in a Galactic Assault gameplay, let's say a game lasts for 20 minutes, you get given these credits, and then you need to spend those credits on boxes to open the boxes and be given these star cards. Problem is, boxes have random elements to them, which means you cannot guarantee what you want. For instance, in these videos already that have been posted online by Totalbiscuit and by Angry Joe, they talked about Boba Fett. Boba Fett has abilities, of course. He has his concussion rockets, he has his rocket barrage, he has his jetpack, he has a scan ability called For the Hunt. But currently you have these boost cards here, which are opened in those boxes, and you get upgrades to them depending on your luck, and secondly, potential upgrades that you can use with this currency here, which is called spare parts, I believe, or components. So the one that they've talked about is this Death from Above. Now, Death from Above comes in 4 different card types. You get the bronze tier, and then it becomes silver, gold, and then a platinum tier, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each corresponding card gives you a different multiplier effect for different abilities. It does depend on the character, but for Boba Fett here, we have damage reduction using the jetpack is reduced by 50% when using the basic tier card. So you take half damage immediately when you are being shot at in the air whilst using the jetpack whilst playing Boba Fett. Which means you will be more resilient, fine. However, 100% reduction means you're practically invulnerable whilst in the air. Of course, when you land, you can be shot again, sure, but this is a problem for players who want to play the game in a natural way where you play and you progress. Some players, those with more money and less time, will buy these boxes and try to get these gold tier and platinum tier, I'm going to call them, cards where you will have a direct edge over your opponents from the beginning of release. Day 1 release, you could buy 20 crates, get all the things you need. You know, say each crate costs £1, that's £20 on top of the base game, which is £55, or if you buy the deluxe edition, which comes with cards already upgraded for certain classes, you will have an advantage over a player. If you have 2 players, say there were 2 of me who have the same abilities in game, a player with the default starter kit, myself, player 1, will have less chance against an equally matched opponent, player 2, who has fully upgraded abilities. So, you can see there's going to be a problem here. It does depend on how it is implemented. It does in terms of the severity. The problem will remain regardless of how well this is implemented or not, but dependent on how much this costs, the random nature of it. For instance, in Overwatch, other games have already done this. In Overwatch, you open a box and you can get a really, really nice character model skin, or you can get a voice line, or you can get a sticker, you can get tat. This is the problem with boxes. This isn't an exclusive problem to EA. EA have just jumped on the bandwagon. Well, not jumped on the bandwagon, they've been doing it for ages with different game titles. If you watch Totalbiscuit's video, he's already talked about the tertiary or secondary products that EA publish, the sports games. I call them secondary because they're not like... They are big titles, but they're not as well liked or core. I think the word core could be used. They're not core titles compared to Star Wars and Battlefield, especially Battlefield. So this has got quite a few players worried. I have seen in comments where you have people not defending the system but saying, I prefer this system compared to the Season Pass system, which was implemented with Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Battlefield series games as well, up to Battlefield 1. And I can understand that. I believe this system has the potential to be quite predatory or quite problematic for the player base in general. However, I understand that if DLC comes out and people have to pay for it, some people won't pay for it, and then the fact of the matter is the player base becomes split, and therefore less people can play together because you have people playing on DLC maps and nobody can join them if they haven't paid £40-50 or whatever for the DLC season pass. But the main problem with this style of box opening is it's not just cosmetic items, it's not just things which will make you go, wow, that guy's got a nice bit of customization to his clone trooper. These will give you abilities and advantages over certain opponents. If you have equally capable players in a match, which, you know, very likely, you will have a problem where people have better stuff from day one, if they have the money to spend. So, there are certain things that can be done. EA will, for the most part, likely remain with this system. They may make some changes, they may make it less random, they may implement a new system. I don't think they will. We'll have to see. But as you can see with the Assault, we've got different abilities here. I've got gold abilities, silver abilities. If I change the card, I don't have the last one here, but I can craft it with a currency that I can only get in boxes. So it's either going to be a very long grind or a very quick set of upgrades where you can just ruffle stomp people of equal or lesser ability. So, what can be done? I feel like if they removed certain abilities from, say, the heroes, well, not abilities, but the potential to upgrade them. The fact that Boba Fett has a jetpack, he has rockets, he has scan abilities, he has concussion abilities. Does he need them to be upgraded even more? He has more health as well than a normal trooper. Can it be changed? I believe so. By removing the cards from the heroes would alleviate a very minor part of the game, because hero gameplay is very limited because it requires you to be doing the objective and gaining battle points in game before you're able to play these heroes. This is going to be of interest to me to see how they update the system or change the system. If it was just cosmetic items, I really wouldn't give a toss if they had paid crates in the game for that. But because the progression system is linked into it, this is the problem. The game itself, as I talked about in the previous video, and as many people agree, it's a good game. It's not designed for everybody, it may be too casual for some people, the gameplay may be too simple, but in terms of you on the field, running around, doing your objectives, shooting the guns, shooting the droids, shooting the clone troopers, whatever, it's a good game, in my opinion. I have had a lot of fun in the last 8 hours or so I've played in the beta. But this monetization could be very bad for the game. We'll have to see how EA does it. Maybe they'll change how it is currently in game. Of course, you can only buy these crates in the beta with the currency you earn in game currently, so there is no element of pay to win. It's play to unlock crates, and then the random element of frustration. The other videos on this have already talked about gambling and the potential effects that this type of system can have on vulnerable people, or people with addictive personalities, those who have had experience in other games, such as on the mobiles market with these free-to-play models, can already understand what I'm getting at. There's also the element of £60, $60, £55, whatever, full game, but with these free-to-play elements. That's also an issue. I'm not going to go into that, I've talked enough now. We'll have to see how EA and DICE perhaps change this. Maybe they will. I have no doubt EA will want to remain with this system, or some kind of way that they can earn more money from this game other than just direct sales from launch and just buying the game in general. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Found something useful from this video. Maybe you can form an opinion on how the game is going to be for you. As I said, we'll have to see how they change it, but thank you for listening. I've been Jurgen, and I'll see you, chaps and chapettes, in the next one.